Hey everybody, we are back here live from MomoCon. I promised a little bit of different content. The next two interviews that we have coming up, I think, are going to be a lot of fun and a little bit different from what we've heard so far. We've talked to a lot of indie game devs, talked to a lot of brands here. We've talked to some other content creators. I am now joined by Ada, who is from, remind me of your group's name.
I'm from Team 8736, the Mechanisms, from the organization First Robotics.
So, Organization First Robotics. Tell us a little bit about you guys.
So we are a high school robotics team based in a community maker station out of Marietta, Georgia. And we are open to all people to join the team and build robots in a robotics building season that happens through the First organization every year. We have 7 weeks to design and build a whole robot, about 115 pounds, 27 by 27 inches, big robots, and then take them to a competition and compete.
Now, when you say take them to a competition and compete, you mean like take them to destroy other robots?
It's not battle bots.
Okay. What kind of competitions are they?
We get a game every year that is typically to do with a game piece of some sort, like a ball or a ring, or we had PVC pipes, and typically we're doing something with those game pieces to put them up somewhere or throw them or score them in some sort of way.
So is that task for the game described to you in advance, or is that like you're told you're going to have these pieces and this is what the space is going to look like, but we're not going to tell you what it has to perform?
So they don't tell us how to make the robot perform, but they do tell us all of the rules, what the space is going to look like, what the game pieces are, and then from there it's up to your team to build whatever you want for the upcoming season.
For that upcoming thing. And then once it's just one build, one robot, you can do augmentations or you can do updates, or is it once that 7 weeks is done, that's your robot?
So it's typically 7 weeks to the first competition.
Okay.
And then we have time between competitions where we can edit our robot and make any changes we need for the upcoming competitions.
Okay. And so what part is more stressful? The original 7-week build, or like trying to figure out what you need to change once you've gotten there?
It kind of depends. It's all pretty stressful. The 7-week build is kind of on and off stressful. Typically closer to competitions is harder, but definitely in between competitions, like trying to it usually comes out pretty broken. So trying to get it fixed up is a big problem.
Wait, so how does it end up coming out broken? Tell me more about that. I thought it was a battle bots. I was just
but there's 6 robots on the field at any given time, and they do collide.
Okay. So it's like multiple. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like a basketball court-sized area.
I see. Okay. And so tell me, how did you guys do?
This season we actually made it to the Peachtree Regional Competition, so states. And I know one of the other Georgia teams actually made it 2 Worlds this year, one we're very close with. So that was very exciting for us to get to see our local Georgia teams going to Worlds.
Yeah, totally. Well, you talked a little bit about Makerspace, and that's where you guys do a lot of your work out of?
Yes, that's our primary work.
And tell people, so for a lot of people out there that are watching the stream, they might not know what a Makerspace is. Can you tell them a little bit about what that space looks like and what it's like working there?
Yeah, of course. So we work out of a community maker station, which is essentially we have lots and lots of tools and machinery and fabrication and all of that in a small-ish space for us that is open to the public to get a membership and come in and make anything they want with all of the tools. Everything is open to anyone. It's really good for the local community because I know a lot of people who come in and they're like, I would not have a hobby if it were not for this space. And we a lot of FRC teams are school teams, but we're a community team. So we work out of this maker station, and we have kids from all over the Georgia area.
So, and tell people where the maker station is so they can find it if they're looking for it.
We are the Marietta Maker Station in Marietta.
Awesome. Well, we just want to make sure, especially cool partners like that you're working with are getting a shout out and getting recognized in that whole part of the process. So you guys go into the maker space. That's where you're designing and building your robot out of. Are you getting advice from everybody else that's around there? Is everybody kind of like watching you do your thing, or is it you feel like you got your own isolated space where you're there?
So First has this thing called cooperation, where you are kind of expected to, but also naturally tend to work with a lot of the teams and other engineers in your area. We have a lot of actual professional engineers who come in and they teach us things. So actually one of our head mentor was on BattleBots.
Nice.
He was a BattleBot guy. And we have lots of engineers coming in from everywhere, a lot of Georgia Tech people coming in to mentor us on how to build these big robots and be good engineers.
And I wasn't trying to over stereotype you into BattleBots. I was just trying to make a joke.
No, the stereotype for a reason, yeah.
So all the things that you make, are they like are we talking about like old car pieces? Like how do you like soup to nuts? Like how is this robot getting built? Is it your 3D printing? Are you acquiring things? Are you welding things? A little bit of everything?
It's a little bit of everything. We try not to weld because if you're welding, it means something's gone wrong on the robot
Oh, okay.
typically. But the parts that we use are typically manufactured by partnerships of first, and then we buy those parts and use them. That's electronic parts, but all of the physical like metals and stuff are off the shelf metals that we are fabricating and cutting to size and drilling holes in and all that.
Now, what is the balance between the programming, right? I assume that you've got to build a program to run the robot that you're operating and the mechanical side. So do you guys split that up on your team? Does everybody do a little bit of both?
So we are actually small FRC team. I think we have about 12 members now.
Okay.
A lot of them typically have 20, upwards of 20 members. So everybody kind of has to do a little bit of everything. So all of the mechanics are first in the electronics and the programming and all of that. Programmers typically like to split off to do the programming themselves, which is fine, but we like to communicate very closely with them to make sure that the engineers are getting what they need out of the programs.
Yeah, the two things are ultimately
Yes.
intertwined. So if you guys are a small team of 12, what does a big team look like?
There are 20 upwards people. I know a lot of the high schools around here, there's one of them that has 40 kids at any given time.
Wow, that's insane.
It's a lot.
My school that I went to in a very small part of Maryland did not even have a robotics team at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
So the robotics team would have been me and my brother, probably, that were on the team like that. So it's awesome to hear about some of these inclusive programs, to hear that people are doing this work overall. I mean, have you guys, when you're outside of competition, are you guys building robots or anything else? Are you building other things? Like, are you developing your skills to like get ready for the next season? Because it's like a pretty tight window there, right?
Yeah.
When you're actually doing the competition piece.
So it's kind of everything. After we get out of our season and our competitions, we like to take a break to let people recharge because it's a very intensive few months. And then we're working on the robot we used in competition. We're working on a secondary robot because there are off-season competitions too. So we do those. And we're letting kids practice and get their experience that's needed because we get a lot of younger kids on the team too, like 8th graders, and they don't know anything. And like we got to train them up so they can be ready for the upcoming season.
Right. So the secondary robots are a totally different set of robots than your primary.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the season, the primary robot that you built, does it just become a secondary robot? Does it go to a robot graveyard?
So because we're so small and we're a community team, we actually don't have a ton of funding. We get grants and stuff from people. So typically when we are done with our robot, we tear it all the way apart and reuse everything we can.
Every piece of it.
And because we don't have the money to be buying new motors every season. So tear it apart and you get ready for the next season.
So how much of those parts then are like 3D printed? Are you able to use, because I at least the makerspace that I know of in Los Angeles where I live has a lot of 3D printers in it, and like people are able to utilize some of those things. Are you using a lot of 3D printers to like create some of these pieces?
Yes, we actually, so our maker station has, I think, like 10 3D printers, and a lot of them are the Ender 3D printers, but we use a lot of high-end 3D printers for our team as well. There are some parts on our current robot right now that are huge sections of it that are completely 3D printed. And we design a lot of things to 3D print for the robot as well, yeah.
So those 3D printed parts, are you able to take them off and use them again as well?
Yes. So typically a lot of them last. Sometimes when they're apart, they may be getting contact with other robots on the field, they break. But I mean, the beauty of the 3D printing is you can always replace it.
Yeah, just replicate them. And then is it you see the same split with your like programming team and your like mechanical team in terms of like who's doing the 3D modeling, or are like your actual like mechanical people still doing the 3D modeling work?
A lot of the mechanical people tend to do the 3D modeling work as well, because the first about 2 weeks is all 3D modeling. Like you get the whole robot modeled. And then you start building it.
And do you do that like in CAD? Like what kind of program is
it? We use OnShape, which is a CAD program, yeah.
And then you said you guys have to fundraise for all the parts and pieces and everything you have to build. You don't pay for the time in the makerspace, but what are you guys paying for?
So the members do pay a membership fee.
Okay.
But it's really not enough to cover it because these robots are expensive. So we do a lot of outreach events such as coming here to MomoCon, and we find people who may want to sponsor us or who may want to join the team, because really every dollar counts for us. I mean, we had a lot of like machinery breakages this year, and we were like, we don't really have the money to be replacing these, so we gotta
Like
you know.
machine breaking on your robot or on the machines that were making the things that you needed for your robot?
So mostly the robot, but like
Okay.
also our toolboxes.
Yeah.
2 of them unexpectedly broke this year, and we're like, we don't have money to replace these right now.
So tell people out there, what does your typical budget look like for a season that you guys need to have?
Ooh, I would say like a basis of like 20,000 is like a good place to be. I would start there, but I know we've gone over and we've gone under before.
So for those of you that are out there watching, what remind me of your team name again?
8736 the mechanisms.
How could I forget that? 8736 the mechanisms needs your help. They raise money every year to be able to build these robots. They got to states this year. Their goal is to get to worlds next year. They need your help to be able to figure out how to do this. It's only $20,000 a year. So make sure that you guys give them a shout out. Make sure that you'll help them. Ada, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find us on a lot of socials. We have Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We have a website with our email. So if you're interested, if you're a company that's interested in sponsoring us, feel free to email us. Like, we absolutely would love any sponsors we can get. And your sponsorships get your logos on the back of our shirt and on our robot. So on camera, your sponsorships will be shown.
Logos and robot. You heard it from Ada first. Thanks for coming on. We really appreciated learning about what you guys are doing on the robotics team, how much effort you guys are putting into it. It sounds really cool. Keep us posted as to how you guys do on this year's season.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. We will be back here with another interview in just a couple minutes.